There is power in silence and there is wisdom in restraint. When you are given a vision, a dream, or a plan for your life, it is like receiving a seed from God Himself. That seed is delicate, it is small, and it is hidden. Just as a farmer does not leave his seeds exposed on the ground for birds to devour, so too must you protect your plans from careless exposure. Every plan is a seed, and seeds must be planted in the right soil before they can grow. If you take your seed and display it too early, you risk losing it to those who cannot see what you see. Premature exposure of your plans invites premature opposition. Some people are not fighting against you because they dislike you, but because they do not understand you. When you share your dreams too soon, you invite resistance that your plan is not strong enough to withstand. An idea in its infancy is fragile. It cannot carry the weight of criticism, doubt, or envy. That is why silence becomes your shield. Not everyone deserves access to what has been birthed in your spirit. Vision is for your spirit before it becomes a reality for the world. God gives you the vision because He trusts that you will carry it, protect it, and nurture it until it grows strong enough to stand on its own. It was not given to everyone, it was given to you. That means you are responsible for guarding it until the appointed time. Sharing your plan too quickly is like showing the blueprint of a house before the foundation is laid. You expose yourself to discouragement, to misunderstanding, and sometimes to sabotage. Not everyone has the capacity to understand the magnitude of your dream. Some will laugh at it. Some will minimize it. Some will even try to steal it. The reality is that your dream will be too big for small minds to handle. That is why silence is not weakness. Silence is strategy. Keeping your plans hidden is not secrecy, it is stewardship. It is wisdom to discern who can handle what you carry. Remember, Joseph shared his dream with the wrong people, and it led him into a pit. But even in the pit, the dream was alive because it was from God. Silence protects your ideas from corruption and contamination. Every word you speak is a seed as well, and when you speak prematurely, you can create an atmosphere of doubt around your vision. People may begin to project their fears onto you. They may say, "It cannot be done. You are not qualified. You don't have the resources." If you are not careful, you may begin to believe them. Protect your mind by protecting your words. Protect your future by guarding your speech. What is kept in silence grows in strength. The right time to speak is when the fruit is visible, not when the seed is vulnerable. Once the tree is rooted, it can withstand the storm. Once the plan is established, it can endure criticism. Do not announce your plans at the beginning, announce them in the fulfillment. Let your success be the voice. Let your achievement speak louder than your intention. The world honors results, not intentions. So carry your vision with dignity, protect your dream with silence, and wait for the fullness of time before you make it known. Every plan is a seed, and seeds must be planted in the right soil before they can grow. When you receive a plan, an idea, or a vision for your life, you must treat it as something sacred, something delicate, and something requiring nurture and protection. A seed is not a tree. A seed is not strong enough to endure harsh weather, criticism, or the weight of being exposed. A seed must go through the hidden process of development before it can stand tall as a tree. The same applies to your plans. They are given to you in seed form, and how you handle them in the beginning determines if they ever manifest into reality. Think about the nature of a seed. It carries within it the potential for a forest, but no one sees the forest in the seed. People see something small, insignificant, and unimpressive. That is why it is dangerous to share your plans with everyone in their early stages. Most people will look at your seed and see nothing. They will dismiss it, they will laugh at it, and some will even trample it under their feet. But you must understand that what is invisible to them is visible to you, because the seed was entrusted to your spirit and not theirs. When you reveal your plans prematurely, you expose them to people who cannot see the greatness that is hidden within something small. A wise farmer knows that the value of the seed is not in what it looks like now, but in what it is destined to become. That is why he buries it. To the untrained eye, burying a seed looks like wasting it, but burying is not wasting, it is protecting. Burying ensures the seed is hidden from birds, shielded from the scorching sun, and surrounded by the soil that will feed it. Likewise, your plans must be buried in silence, hidden in prayer, and covered with faith until they are strong enough to survive exposure. When you share them too soon, it is like leaving your seed on a sidewalk where anyone can trample on it or take it. When you receive a divine plan for your life, you must understand that it has its own timing. Just as a seed takes months or years to become a tree, your plans require time to grow. They require seasons of watering, nurturing, and waiting. Not everyone around you has the patience to wait with you. Not everyone is willing to see the process through. That is why you cannot expect others to understand what God gave you. A farmer does not stand in the field explaining to everyone passing by what kind of seed he planted and how long it will take to grow. He simply plants it, tends to it, and waits for the harvest. You too must learn to plant your plants quietly, tend to them faithfully, and wait for the season when they are ready to be revealed. Seeds also teach us about environment. A seed placed in bad soil will die no matter how much potential it carries. In the same way, when you share your plans with the wrong people, you place them in hostile soil. Negative words, doubt, envy, and discouragement can suffocate your vision before it has the chance to grow. That is why discernment is critical. You must recognize which soil is safe for your seed and which soil is toxic. Sometimes silence is the best soil. Silence keeps the seed away from voices that would uproot it. Silence gives you the space to nurture your plan in peace. There is also the matter of timing. A seed cannot be forced to grow overnight. It must undergo its natural process of germination, rooting, sprouting, and maturing. Likewise, your plans must undergo development within you before they manifest outside of you. Some people become discouraged because their plans do not happen quickly. They want instant results. And in their impatience, they share their ideas with others hoping for validation. But validation from others cannot accelerate a process that God has already designed to take time. Just as rushing a seed's growth will destroy it, rushing your plans into exposure will ruin them before they are ready. When you think about a seed, you must also consider that it does not look like its final form. An apple seed looks nothing like an apple tree. A mustard seed looks nothing like the great tree it will become. In the same way, your plans in their early stages may not resemble the greatness they will produce. People may hear them and think they are foolish. They may wonder how such a small beginning could ever lead to a great future. But you must not be discouraged. Greatness is always hidden in small beginnings. The most powerful dreams often start as whispers, and the most impactful plans begin in quiet places. You must also protect your seed from being stolen. Just as birds in the parable of the sower came to eat the seed that fell on the path, there are people who will take your ideas and run with them if you expose them too soon. Not everyone around you is there to support you. Some are there to take advantage of you. They may take your plan, disguise it as their own, and leave you with nothing. That is why silence is not just wisdom, it is protection. Keeping your plans to yourself until the right time ensures that no one can take what was meant for you. The seed also reminds us of the importance of trust. When you plant a seed, you cannot see what is happening underground, but you trust that growth is taking place. In the same way, when you keep your plans hidden, you must trust that God is working behind the scenes. Even when there is no visible progress, you must believe that your seed is sprouting roots. Those roots are the unseen foundation that will sustain the tree later. When you keep silent about your plans, it allows the unseen work to happen in your character, in your skills, and in your faith, so that when your plan does emerge, it is strong enough to last. Another lesson from the seed is patience. The farmer does not dig up the seed every day to check if it is growing. He leaves it alone. If he digs it up too soon, he kills it. Many people destroy their own plans by constantly exposing them, constantly seeking approval, and constantly broadcasting them before they are mature. What they do not realize is that every time they speak prematurely, they disrupt the process. Silence requires patience, but patience produces strength. When you allow your plans to develop quietly, they gain the resilience needed to withstand storms once they are visible. Finally, a seed teaches us humility. It begins hidden, unseen, and uncelebrated. No one applauds the seed. No one notices the seed. But without the seed, there would be no harvest. Likewise, when your plans are in seed form, you must be comfortable being unnoticed. Do not seek recognition too early. Do not crave applause for something that has not yet matured. Learn to embrace the season of obscurity, because it is in that season that your roots grow deep. The deeper the roots, the higher the tree can rise. By understanding your plans as seeds, you realize that silence, patience, protection, and the right environment are not optional. They are necessary. Every plan is a seed, and seeds must be planted in the right soil before they can grow. Premature exposure of your plans invites premature opposition. Every dream, every vision, and every plan carries a time of vulnerability, a season where it has not yet gained the strength to withstand pressure. When you choose to share it too soon, you put it in a place where it can be attacked before it even begins to take shape. The truth is, opposition is inevitable, but opposition that comes before your foundation is laid can destroy the entire structure before it ever rises. When you expose your plans prematurely, you invite forces, both human and spiritual, that are not meant to confront your vision in its infancy. When you think about a child in the womb, it is hidden, covered, and protected until the time of delivery. No matter how excited the parents are, they know that the child must remain in that secret place until it is strong enough to live outside. In the same way, your plans must be kept in the womb of silence until they are ready to be born. If they are brought out too soon, they cannot survive. Many dreams have died not because they were impossible, but because they were exposed at the wrong time. When you share your plan prematurely, you put it in the hands of people who may not nurture it, but instead attack it, question it, or even destroy it. The reality is that opposition does not always come from enemies. Sometimes it comes from the people closest to you, those you expect to understand you. But because they cannot see what you see, they may discourage you. They may remind you of your limitations, of your past failures, or of the obstacles in your way. Their words, spoken out of love or fear, can weaken your confidence in the vision you were given. That is why premature exposure is so dangerous. It opens a door for opposition from sources you least expect. And if you are not strong enough to handle it, it can kill your motivation before you even begin. Opposition can also come in the form of envy. There are people who will smile at you but inwardly feel threatened by your dream. When you tell them what you are about to do, they may appear supportive, but secretly they may be planning how to compete with you, outshine you, or even block your progress. Not everyone wants to see you rise. Some are comfortable as long as you stay on their level, but the moment you speak about rising higher, their true feelings are revealed. When you keep your plans to yourself, you protect them from such envy. When you expose them prematurely, you give jealous hearts an opportunity to interfere with your journey. Opposition is not only external, it can also be internal. When you talk too much about your plans, you invite doubt into your own mind. People may ask questions you don't have answers for yet. They may highlight problems you have not yet considered. If you are not rooted in confidence, those words can plant seeds of uncertainty in you. Suddenly, the plan that once felt so clear and achievable begins to feel impossible. The more you explain yourself, the weaker your conviction becomes. Silence, on the other hand, keeps your focus strong. It allows you to build confidence and gather strength before anyone has the chance to shake it. There is also a spiritual reality to opposition. The moment you announce your plans, you alert the atmosphere to what you are about to do. You awaken forces that were dormant until you spoke. Some battles are not meant to be fought in the early stages of your vision. They are meant to be faced when you are established, when your roots are deep, and when your foundation is firm. Speaking too soon sends out a signal before you are ready for the warfare that comes with it. This is why wisdom teaches us to wait, to stay hidden, and to allow our plans to grow silently under divine covering until the right season. Premature exposure can also rob you of the element of surprise. Sometimes your success is most powerful when it comes unexpectedly. When others do not see you coming, they cannot prepare to stop you. But when you talk too much, you give away your strategy. You reveal your movements before you have taken them. Those who do not want you to succeed can then position themselves to block you. There is wisdom in moving quietly, in working behind the scenes, and in allowing your results to speak louder than your announcements. Consider how great leaders and innovators of history often worked in silence. They developed their ideas privately, nurtured them quietly, and only revealed them when they were ready for the world to see. If they had exposed their plans too early, they would have faced opposition that could have crushed their ideas. But by keeping them hidden, they allowed their visions to gain strength before confronting the criticism and resistance that naturally come with anything great. You too must learn this principle. Your plans deserve the protection of silence until they are mature enough to endure exposure. Premature exposure can also lead to unnecessary competition. The moment you speak of your plan, others may feel the urge to race you, to try to do what you intend to do before you can finish. They may not even care about the vision, but the desire to prove themselves better than you can drive them to compete. If you are not yet prepared, that competition can overwhelm you. But when you remain silent, you move without announcing, and by the time others realize what you have done, your work is already established. Opposition is not always a sign that you are wrong. Sometimes it is proof that you are on the right path. But wisdom says you do not need to attract it too early. There is a time for the battle, But there is also a time for preparation. If you step into opposition before your plan has matured, you may not survive the weight of it. If you step into it at the right time, you will have the strength, the resources, and the character to overcome it. That is why you must learn the discipline of silence. Silence gives you time to prepare to grow and to strengthen yourself before the inevitable opposition comes. Every great vision will face resistance, but resistance that comes too early is destructive. Just as a tree can withstand the wind, once it is grown but cannot survive a storm as a sapling, your plan must grow before it faces its storm. Silence is the shield that protects you during this fragile stage. Silence buys you the time you need to prepare. Silence ensures that when opposition finally arrives, you are no longer vulnerable. Premature exposure of your plans invites premature opposition, and premature opposition can kill what was meant to live. That is why wisdom demands that you hold your plans close to your heart until the appointed time of revelation. Vision is for your spirit before it becomes a reality for the world. Every great destiny begins as an invisible picture inside a person long before it ever appears outside in physical form. The first place your vision lives is not on paper, not in conversations, and not in the opinions of others. It is born in your spirit. That is why you must learn to treasure it as something sacred. Because the vision was not given to everyone else, it was given to you. Before the world can recognize it, you must carry it within you with conviction, faith, and patience. When God places a vision in your heart, He deposits it in a hidden place so that you can nurture it privately before it becomes public. Just as an architect first draws the blueprint of a building long before the construction begins, vision is the unseen design of your future. The blueprint exists in the spirit long before the foundation is laid in the physical. People cannot always understand the blueprint because they only see empty ground where you see a finished structure. But the fact that they cannot see it does not mean it isn't real. The vision is alive, it is planted in your spirit, and it is waiting for the right moment to manifest. The reason vision begins in your spirit is because your spirit has the capacity to believe in what is not yet seen. The natural mind struggles with the unseen because it demands proof, evidence, and visible results. But your spirit can grasp things that are invisible and hold them as if they are already reality. That is why you cannot rely on others to validate your vision in its early stages. If they cannot see what you see, they will doubt it. If they cannot understand the picture God painted in your heart, they will question it. You must be willing to walk with the vision, even when no one else can see it. Vision is spiritual because it requires faith. Faith is the bridge between the invisible and the visible, between what is in your spirit and what will eventually appear in your life. When you carry a vision, you are holding something that does not yet exist in the natural. But in your spirit, it is already accomplished. The challenge is not whether the vision is real. The challenge is whether you will hold on to it long enough for it to materialize. That is why your spirit must remain strong, because the journey between vision and manifestation can be filled with trials, delays, and opposition. If you do not protect it within your spirit, you will abandon it before it becomes real. Many people fail not because the vision was false, but because they allowed others to weaken their spirit. They shared too soon, and when people laughed or doubted, their faith began to waver. But the vision was not meant for other people's approval, it was meant for your spirit's conviction. When you understand this, you stop living for validation and you start living for manifestation. You no longer need everyone to agree with you, because you know that what lives in your spirit is more real than the doubts that live in someone else's mind. You must also understand that vision develops you before it develops around you. The moment a vision is deposited in your spirit, it begins to shape your thinking, your character, your habits, and your choices. It teaches you to walk differently, to speak differently, and to plan differently. You may not see anything changing on the outside yet, but on the inside, you are being prepared for the reality of what is coming. This is why vision begins in the spirit first. It transforms the visionary before it transforms the environment. If you are not changed internally, you will not be able to handle the manifestation externally. When a vision is in your spirit, you must protect it from contamination. You must be careful about what voices you listen to, what environments you expose yourself to, and what words you allow to enter your heart. If your spirit is the womb of vision, then doubt, fear, and negativity are toxins that can threaten its growth. You must feed your spirit with faith, with encouragement, and with the Word of God, because these things strengthen the vision within you. Just like a pregnant mother watches what she eats and avoids anything that could harm the child within her, you must guard your spirit so that your vision can grow strong and healthy. Vision that starts in the spirit also teaches you patience. Because it is invisible at first, you must learn to wait for it to take shape. You cannot rush vision into reality any more than you can rush a child out of the womb before its time. Every vision has a process, and the spirit is the place where you learn endurance. While others may see nothing happening, you know that something is happening on the inside. Just because the vision is not visible does not mean it is not real. The roots are growing deep before the branches ever appear. This also means you cannot measure your progress by external results alone. Sometimes nothing outside will change for a season. But inside your spirit, everything is shifting. You are gaining clarity, strength, and conviction. The delay is not denial, it is development. The vision must be fully formed in you before it can be fully revealed through you. If you allow impatience to make you abandon the vision, you forfeit what was meant to manifest in your life. But if you remain steadfast, the invisible will eventually become visible, and the world will see what your spirit has carried all along. Vision is for your spirit before it becomes a reality for the world, because your spirit is the incubator of destiny. It is the safe place where God plants His intentions, His purposes, and His designs for your life. The world may not understand it yet, but that is not their role. Their role is to witness it when it finally emerges. Your role is to believe it, to nurture it, and to carry it faithfully until the time of manifestation arrives. Not everyone has the capacity to understand the magnitude of your dream. The vision that has been placed inside you was given specifically to you, because you are the one equipped to carry it, protect it, and walk it into reality. The challenge is that when you attempt to explain your dream to others, you are expecting them to see what only your spirit has been trained to see. It is unrealistic to assume that everyone around you can comprehend the weight, the beauty, or the potential of what has been entrusted to you. People interpret your dream through the lens of their own experiences, their own limitations, and their own mindset. If their vision of life is small, they will only see your dream as too big, too unrealistic, or too impossible. When Joseph shared his dream with his brothers, he believed they would celebrate him. He thought they would be inspired by what he had seen in the night. Instead, their hearts turned against him. They did not have the capacity to carry the picture he painted, so their response was envy, resentment, and eventually betrayal. The dream was not false. The dream was real. The problem was that the audience he chose to share it with did not have the heart or the maturity to handle it. The same is true for you. Not everyone you talk to has the spiritual vision to see what you see. Some people will misinterpret your dream as pride. Some will see it as arrogance. Others will think you are delusional. Their inability to understand has nothing to do with the truth of your dream. It only reveals the limits of their perspective. People can only believe for you according to the measure they believe for themselves. If a person cannot see themselves rising beyond mediocrity, they will not believe you can rise beyond mediocrity either. If they cannot imagine themselves achieving greatness, they will struggle to imagine that greatness is possible for you. That is why you must be cautious when you share your vision. You may find yourself speaking to people who can only reduce your dream to the size of their own belief. Instead of encouraging you, they may unintentionally cripple your confidence. They may remind you of all the reasons why it cannot happen, why it is impractical, or why you are not qualified. These voices, if taken seriously, can become chains around your vision, holding it back from soaring as it was designed to. Your dream is too valuable to be subjected to careless opinions. Some people have no intention of harming you, but because their minds are not enlarged enough to embrace your future, they shrink it. They try to fit your vision into the frame of their own reality. They might say things like, "No one in our family has ever done that," or "People like us don't get those opportunities." Their words sound like concern, but they are actually confessions of their own limitations. If you accept their perspective, you will end up lowering your dream to fit their comfort zone. But your dream was never meant to fit inside someone else's comfort zone. It was meant to stretch you, to elevate you, and to take you beyond the boundaries of ordinary thinking. There is also another danger in exposing your vision to those without the capacity to handle it. Some people will not only misunderstand it, they will despise it. Dreams have a way of exposing the smallness of people's lives. When they see you dreaming big, it reminds them of how little they have dared to hope for themselves. Instead of being inspired, they feel threatened. Instead of supporting you, they may oppose you. It is not always malice. Sometimes it is the discomfort of being confronted with possibilities they have never embraced. Still, the result is the same: resistance, criticism, and envy. When you share your dream with such people, you awaken opposition that was never meant to exist at that stage of your journey. Not everyone has the spiritual language to interpret what God has shown you. Vision is often revealed in images, impressions, and convictions that are hard to put into words. Even when you attempt to explain, your words may fall short, and people may misunderstand your intent. They may label you as unrealistic, accuse you of daydreaming, or mock your ambition. This is why silence is often your greatest ally. Keeping your dream within you allows it to mature until the time comes when its fruits can speak louder than your words. Once results are visible, people no longer need to understand the vision. They simply witness its reality. Sometimes the lack of capacity in others is revealed by their inability to support without conditions. They will only believe in you once you succeed, but never while you are in the process. They will only celebrate the finished product, but not the fragile beginning. This is why you cannot rely on external support to validate what has been planted in your heart. You must carry your dream with the conviction that even if no one else sees it, you see it. Even if no one else believes, you believe. Because in the end, the vision was not meant to be universally understood. It was meant to be personally carried. Greatness is lonely at the beginning. Those who have done extraordinary things were often ridiculed before they were celebrated. The world did not have the capacity to understand them until their dream became tangible. The same will be true for you. Expect to be misunderstood. Expect to be doubted. Expect to be underestimated. But do not let that move you. The lack of capacity in others does not diminish the power of your dream. It only emphasizes the uniqueness of your calling. Not everyone has the capacity to understand the magnitude of your dream, and that is exactly why you must protect it. You must treat it as precious, too holy to be mishandled, too valuable to be trampled on. The vision was given to you because you have the strength to carry it, the faith to nurture it, and the courage to pursue it. Others may not see what you see, but their blindness cannot stop your destiny. The only thing that can stop it is if you allow their limited understanding to define your limitless potential. Silence protects your ideas from corruption and contamination. Every dream, every plan, and every vision is fragile in its early stages, and the words you speak about it create the atmosphere that either strengthens it or weakens it. When you keep your ideas in silence, you guard them from the voices that carry doubt, fear, and negativity. The moment you expose them prematurely, you give others the power to speak into your vision, and not every word spoken into your life is life-giving. Some words carry poison, and if you are not careful, those words will infiltrate your spirit and begin to contaminate what was pure when it was given to you. Silence becomes a shield that preserves the integrity of your dream until it is strong enough to withstand outside influence. Every idea has an environment it thrives in. Just as a seed must be planted in clean soil free from toxins, your plans must be nurtured in an environment of faith, encouragement, and belief. When you share your ideas too early, you risk planting them in contaminated soil. Someone's careless remark, someone's laughter, or someone's doubt can become a toxin that weakens your confidence and corrupts your perspective. Even if you started with faith, the wrong words spoken over your plan can introduce fear into your heart. Fear is the contamination that eats away at vision. It whispers to you that you cannot achieve what you saw, that you are not qualified, or that you do not have the resources. Once fear enters, it begins to corrupt the purity of your conviction. But silence keeps fear out because silence does not give doubt a door to enter. Contamination can also come through envy. When you reveal your plans to others, some may secretly resent you. They may not say it openly, but their subtle discouragement, their lack of enthusiasm, or their half-hearted support can plant seeds of discouragement in your spirit. Envy has a way of cloaking itself in casual remarks, but its effect is destructive. It makes you second-guess yourself. It causes you to wonder if you are overreaching. But if you had remained silent, their envy would have had no target. Silence keeps you free from the contamination of jealous hearts. Ideas are also corrupted when too many voices are allowed to shape them. When you constantly talk about your vision, everyone will try to add their opinion, their suggestion, and their version of what you should do. Before long, your pure vision becomes diluted by the input of people who were never meant to design your destiny. The danger is that when too many voices influence your plan, it loses its original power and clarity. It becomes a mixture of other people's fears, preferences, and limitations. Silence ensures that the vision remains what it was when God placed it in your heart. Silence protects it from being reshaped into something it was never meant to be. There is also the reality that some people intentionally corrupt ideas. They see your plan and, instead of encouraging you, they plant doubt on purpose. They may remind you of past failures, bring up obstacles, or even highlight your weaknesses. They are not interested in your success. They are interested in ensuring you never rise above them. If you speak too freely, you give such people the tools they need to sabotage your future. But silence denies them that access. Silence keeps them guessing. Silence keeps your plans beyond the reach of those who would corrupt them intentionally. Silence not only protects your ideas from external contamination, but also from internal corruption. Sometimes when you talk too much about your plans, you begin to feel as though you have already accomplished something simply because you have spoken it. Talking gives a false sense of progress. You can easily become satisfied with the applause or attention you receive from sharing your vision, and that false sense of achievement can weaken your drive to actually do the work. In this way, your own words corrupt your motivation. But when you remain silent, the only satisfaction you feel is from actual progress, not from premature recognition. Silence keeps your hunger alive and prevents your vision from being corrupted by pride or complacency. Another form of contamination comes from timing. If you speak about your plan before it is fully developed, you allow others to judge it while it is still incomplete. An unfinished idea, when exposed, is vulnerable to being ridiculed or dismissed. People may laugh at it not because it lacks potential, but because it lacks completion. Once their laughter enters your spirit, it contaminates your confidence. You may begin to abandon something that was destined to succeed simply because you revealed it too soon. Silence guards against this by allowing your idea to mature in privacy until it is undeniable in public. Every great idea must be protected in the silence of the heart, because silence is the incubator of strength. In silence, you give your plan the space to grow roots before it grows branches. In silence, you allow your faith to be established before you face opposition. In silence, you create a shield around your spirit that filters out negativity, doubt, and fear. The purity of your vision is preserved when you refuse to let careless voices touch it. When you are silent, you are in control of the atmosphere around your dream. When you speak too soon, you surrender control to whoever happens to be listening. That is why silence is not weakness, but wisdom. It is not secrecy for the sake of hiding. It is protection for the sake of growth. Silence creates a sacred space where your dream is guarded, where your faith is uncorrupted, and where your vision remains untainted until the moment it is ready to stand on its own. The right time to speak is when the fruit is visible, not when the seed is vulnerable. Every idea, every dream, every vision goes through stages, and wisdom is knowing which stage you are in. A seed is meant to be hidden, nurtured, and developed underground where no one sees it. A seed cannot survive the weight of exposure. It is too delicate to endure the scrutiny, the criticism, or the doubt that comes with being seen too soon. But once the seed grows into a tree and produces fruit, then it can be revealed without fear, because its roots are strong and its branches are established. In the same way, your plans must be kept private until they reach a stage of maturity where they can withstand whatever comes against them. Speaking prematurely only weakens your vision, but speaking at the right time makes your results undeniable. When you let your fruit speak, you don't need to convince people of your plans. The evidence stands on its own. People may argue with your words, but they cannot argue with your results. Words invite debate, but fruit commands respect. Many people waste their energy trying to explain what they are going to do, seeking approval and validation from others before they have even started. But when you reveal your success at the right time, there is no argument, no debate, and no need for explanation. The fruit silences the doubters. The fruit answers the critics. The fruit becomes your testimony. That is why wisdom says wait until you have something tangible before you speak. Timing is everything when it comes to destiny. You may have a great plan, but if you reveal it at the wrong time, it can be destroyed before it matures. Just as a farmer does not pick fruit before it ripens, you should not expose your vision before it is ready. Unripe fruit may look promising, but it lacks sweetness, it lacks strength, and it cannot sustain anyone who eats it. In the same way, a plan revealed too early may look impressive in words, but it lacks the maturity to sustain scrutiny, questions, or pressure. Waiting until the right time ensures that when you finally speak, your words are backed by evidence and your vision carries weight. Another danger of speaking too soon is that it creates unnecessary expectations. The moment you announce your plans, people begin to watch you, waiting for results. If you are not ready, the pressure of their expectations can overwhelm you. The scrutiny can crush your confidence, and the disappointment of delays can make people lose faith in you before you have even begun. But when you stay silent until the fruit is visible, you avoid the burden of premature expectation. You are free to focus on the process without the distraction of trying to prove yourself to others. By the time they see what you have done, it will already be accomplished, and their belief will come naturally because of what you have produced. There is also a spiritual principle in waiting for the fruit before you speak. The unseen world responds to your words, and the moment you announce your plans, you awaken forces that may try to resist you. Some battles are necessary, but some are unnecessary and can be avoided simply by remaining quiet until the appointed time. When your fruit is visible, opposition cannot stop you because what you have built is already established. A tree that has grown strong can endure storms, but a seedling can be uprooted by a simple gust of wind. Your silence protects you until your roots are deep enough to withstand whatever storm may come. Fruit also represents proof of faithfulness. Anyone can talk about what they plan to do, but very few actually follow through. Words are cheap, but fruit is costly. Fruit requires consistency, discipline, patience, and perseverance. When you wait until your fruit is visible, you prove that you have endured the process. You show that your dream was not just empty talk, but a vision you were willing to labor for. People respect fruit because it reveals character, not just ambition. Your fruit testifies that you were faithful with the seed and that you did not give up during the hidden seasons. There is power in surprise when your fruit is revealed. If you tell everyone what you are working on, they can prepare for it, resist it, or even try to copy it. But if you move silently, your fruit emerges unexpectedly, and by the time people notice, it is too late for them to stop it. Your success speaks louder when it is not anticipated. It catches the attention of the world because no one saw it coming. Silence gives you the advantage of surprise, and surprise magnifies the impact of your fruit. The right time to speak is not when you feel excited, but when you have something to show. Excitement can make you reckless. It can tempt you to announce your vision before it has matured. But wisdom restrains you. Wisdom teaches you that the world does not honor intentions, it honors results. The world does not celebrate seeds, it celebrates fruit. If you learn to wait, your announcement will carry weight because it will be supported by evidence. People will not just hear what you say, they will see what you have done. Every vision has an appointed time for revelation. If you can trust the process, protect your seed, and wait for the fruit, your success will speak for itself. You will not need to explain, to justify, or to convince anyone. The fruit will be your voice. The fruit will be your defense. The fruit will be your validation. The right time to speak is when the fruit is visible, not when the seed is vulnerable. Every vision that God places in your heart is sacred, and it must be handled with wisdom. A seed is never left exposed. It is planted, hidden, and nurtured until it becomes a tree that bears fruit. In the same way, your plans are not for the crowd, they are for the process. Your silence is not weakness, it is protection. Your restraint is not fear, it is wisdom. When the time is right, what was once hidden will be revealed, and no one will be able to deny it. You do not need to convince people with your words, when your fruit will testify louder than any speech you could give. Protect the seed, endure the process, wait for the season, and then let your results speak for you. For the greatest evidence of vision is not in what you announce, but in what you produce. And when you produce, the world will have no choice but to honor what God has placed inside you.